Alright guys, welcome back. Now there has been a brand new update to the game. Oh, and look, just as I should mention it, here arrives, the timing couldn't be better. One of the biggest features of the game they've added is this guy, this bird. Now, this bird, I spent ages trying to find it, okay? Now, I recorded a video already, but I realized that the microphone I was using was practically the other side of the room. I just set up the mic wrong. I have had to trash all of that. I will keep the footage though, and I'm going to show you some footage as I talk through what these updates are. But that bird there is the main, and certainly the biggest, literally the biggest addition to the game. He's absolutely massive. And where I found him, or I found him first, was over there on the bird table. But I am standing on top of my house, by the way, if you're wondering where on earth I am. And I spent a very long time wandering around going, well, where are the birds? Where are the birds? Where are the birds? It's just one. It's just this guy. And he will, when you get close, you can hear him cawing. And he sits there pruning himself, and occasionally a feather will fall off. And I mean occasionally, because so far I've seen him land, fly off, do what he does, and I've only found one feather. But I did manage to find, that's where I got him on the bird table. I spotted him there and I ran over straight away as fast as I could. Just as he was taking off is when the feather actually dropped. And you've probably just seen a bit of footage of that now. I will keep the video that I recorded just to show you. But I searched around a lot of places, had to wait for many in-game days to figure out the places that he goes to. Now this is the second time I've seen him on here. It's on one of the lasers by the mysterious machine. There's also a kind of a garden table, a picnic table right at the back. I saw him on there, but I wandered over. I couldn't find a feather. I didn't see him, drop anything, and he's cawing away. But on the bird table as well, I don't think he lands there if you stand on it, because I waited there for quite some time to see if I could actually fight him, but you can't. I shot a couple of arrows at him. Doesn't make a difference. And I have picked up this feather, and the feather allows you to craft a brand new type of arrow, but also allows you to craft a new hat. Let me just show you what they are. A new hat, I should say. There's a lot of other updates, as you'll notice as I show you the screen. But if you go down to the workbench gear, at the very bottom are brand new marksman's cap. Now it's a tier 3 item of armor. This is the first tier 3 I think what we have. And you can see the defense is fairly high, considering it's a cap made out of berry leather. It's just going to be a purple cap. Oh gosh, I should be careful what I say. But you need three crow feather pieces. Now I found a feather. You have to farm it, so you have to, as you can see now, I'm showing you. You have to chop it up, and it relinquishes a single piece. Really? I worked so hard to get that. I waited hours and hours and hours. The other thing that it will allow you to craft is a new type of arrow. It's a feather arrow. Now it doesn't tell you how much more damage it does than another arrow, and it may not do much at all, but you need a single feather piece in order to craft one, and some spider's web. I don't know whether it hits hard, whether it does more damage than regular feathers or not. We'll see. But yes, that bird, he will fly around and sort of land in one of those places once, maybe twice a day, and I've lost him again. He's gone. Somewhere he's got. He sometimes flies off up into the roof of the house over there, sometimes off up over there. So you can't get to him when he's in those places, but he will come down to land. And that's your chance to go and see if you can pick up a feather. But if you've got to spot him, you've got to get there as soon as you can and wait. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going to spend so much time wandering around trying to find this guy. And they maybe need to tweak the settings, so either he drops more feathers or he lands in the garden a bit more periodically. Maybe make it a bit easier. More than one bird, maybe. I don't know. Just something. It feels a little bit like it slows you down. It slows you right down, and just you become obsessed with looking for the bird until you've got enough feathers. I could see people spending days trying to get enough feathers to craft a hat. I'm sorry, I don't see it. It's still interesting though. Right, next up. This is the next big thing, I think, is a brand new perk system. If you look at the menu at the top here, you've got an extra tab, and I'll use the mouse for this. You've got this status tab here, which is obviously brand new. And this gives you something under biometric called mutations. Now, I actually discovered a couple of mutations while I was playing around earlier on, as I said earlier, with the wrong microphone on. So annoying. But I did manage to find 2 mutations. One in particular, because of, actually, this is something, Sebak, I remember you saying I should be able to get down through the cave underwater. I'm showing you footage of me doing that now, and I got through down at the underwater tunnel. You just get there and run out of breath, nearly run out of breath. But once you do, you find this beautiful looking place, and it sort of made me think that an angel's singing down upon this gorgeous looking 4-leaf clover. Now, that clover cave I'd never been into before the update, but apparently the layout of this cave has actually changed as well as part of the update. So I don't know exactly what difference was. They changed the lighting and the way it looks. So this is your first look at it if you've already found it. But down there, as you can see, is where I got the coup de grace. Discovering a beacon of hope in the darkness lifts your will to survive. Bursts of inspiration flash before your eyes in the heat of battle as you land blows one can only describe as lucky. So this mutation, this perk ability, must it must just give you a chance to hit a lucky blow, maybe one that does huge damage, maybe even one shot. So wolf spider, that would be fantastic. I doubt that will happen, but it could well be. Now the other one is this natural explorer. I don't know how I found it. I think it arrived at the same time. If it didn't, I missed the screen prompt of when it arrived. But with each landmark found, you gain a better understanding of the lay of the land. Your tiny feet traverse the yard like it's the back of your hand. Now, I don't know what that means. But if you guys know that, then please do tell me. Okay, so the third major thing I think that I should tell you about is the Burgle quest types. Now, apparently they have added some new quest types for Burgle. And Burgle will now ask you to craft certain items. So it's called an artificer or artificer quest. We'll ask you to craft certain things. The other is the chip sleuth, it's called. I guess, see what they're doing there. Where Burgle will ask you to locate some of the Burgle chips that you've found around the game. Now, I've found 3. There may be more, but I went there to see if he had missions like that. He didn't. As you can see, the missions I've currently got are to kill 5 stink bugs and complete a marker at the Weed Killer Peak, which I know where that is, and I will be going to it. But it's not one of the new. Neither of those are the new types. I finished off the kill 10 ants, by the way, if you were wondering. Okay, next up to the new features they've added. So they've added in the crafting. I noticed 2 things here. There's 2 triangle grass walls now, and they've added one which is inverted, which I think is pretty cool. It kind of matches the roof corner and the interior corner. But now, this is new, a roof corner square has been added. That wasn't there before. So, these 2 things, a sprig fence and an acorn fence. Now, you remember when I was building the balcony around my super amazing house here, I said, I think they're going to introduce some kind of handrail thing, or that's what I'm going to use it for. So I think I'll put up a sap fence handrail, probably, maybe not the acorn one. I think it will look a bit too much. But that's brand new to the game. The other cosmetic item they've added, whether they're practical use or not, are these tables. You can make a grass table and a clover table. Now notice there are a lot more spaces left to fill, so there is way more coming to the game than you know. But the grass table here looks pretty cool, and the clover table is like a little side table. Both look like they need various pieces of insects to craft. That is cool. Now, next major update feature that they've added is they've added a water creature. Now, this water creature is called a Water Flea. I'm showing you footage of that right now because I did manage to find them. Then I couldn't find them in the main pond, the big pond next to my base. But in the flooded areas, either sides of the map, especially near the bird table. So if you're heading over there to see the bird, get in the water and you can see these things. They're really odd looking creatures. Now, I don't know, they probably look like that in real life, but I've never seen a water flea up close. You know, we don't tend to socialize. But you can kill this thing. I killed it with a spear. There may be other ways of doing it. They call it an ambient insect in that you can kill it, of course, like you can kill everything, but you can't craft anything out of it. You can take the meat. It will spoil overnight. So you either cook it and eat it as soon as you can. Lots of health, just like the others. But yeah, that's what they look like, and that's pretty cool. So obviously they're introducing more things to the water. Now that's it for the new like animals and quests and buildings. I thought they would put in a couple more insects, as a lot of people were thinking that they would. But that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. We know it's coming. We know there's more to come. And what they did concentrate huge amounts on are a lot of bug fixes and performance enhancements. Now I think that's probably the right way to go. It's better to get the basic scaffolding of the game right first, and it really already was brilliant. I'm just saying that they, you know, where there were bugs and little, excuse me dude, I hate using the word bugs in a game like this. Oh yeah, this is another one. You can see now there's a highlighting aspect. Anything you can interact with, it puts this white line or this pink line around the outside and sort of phase it out. In the dark, that is really, really useful. Okay, the spider fang dagger has been buffed. It's got way more damage than it did have before. It was already fast and it was already poisonous. It won't do any stun damage, of course, but it is up in amongst the tier 2 weapons. It wasn't really doing that much damage before, but that's been buffed. The spike traps. Okay, so the spike traps have also been buffed, so they will do way more damage to anything crawling over them than they were doing before. Next up, and it would be interesting to find one. Let me see if I can find one. This is about the spiders. Oh yes, they've made a change. The spiders now have learned a new set of attacks. As if things weren't crazy enough, they're going to punish us even more with a new set of spidey attacks. Now, I'd love to see what it is exactly they have changed. So we're going to crawl up here and see if we can find... Hopefully we only find an orb weaver. If we find anything else, I will be bravely running straight into the pond. Okay, here we go. So, now we have got an orb weaver. Let's see what this change is. Can you come down here and show me what new skills you've learned, please? Okay, we're doing it. Come on. Show me your new attacks. I think because he's up on the log, he's not going to come down. I just have to kill him with arrows. I need to find one that's on the ground. Maybe I'll join him up on the log. I don't really want to do this. Whoa! Did you see that? Wow! God damn! Now this is special. Oh, a double hit. Okay, so now you get the idea. Whoa. Okay. Now I'm going to pause this here. So you can see they're much more dynamic in the way that they're fighting me. They're not just going for the standard bite, which was all we had before, but they've got this 1, 2, 3 hit combo. That flying jump at the beginning, that's brand new. The other thing is, right, tier 2 insects. Now, I don't know if a spider's a tier 2 or tier 3. In fact, is it possible? I can't go into the inventory to find... Sorry, I can't go into my other menu to find out because I'll still be in the real world while I'm searching through it and I'll get killed. But it says tier 2 insects now have a cooldown after being stunned before they can be stunned again. So, I don't know... I'm probably wrong, and this isn't a tier 2, this is probably tier 3, but we're going to have to try and stun him to see if that's true. Mind you, I don't think... Oh, they are way more... Oh, God. Okay, we got another one. Okay, and I am way down on health.
Nice and clean.
Okay, got some health back. These are way worse to fight than they were before. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go third person. Wow, look at that. That's way more terrifying, but beautiful at the same time. So anyway, that demonstration, just a small demonstration of me losing my, you know, whew, that was intense. Okay, good. But that's great. It's really intensified the Orb Weaver fights. And that tactic, I hate to think. Mind you, with the Wolf Spider, it's one attack, two attacks. If you get away with being bitten once, you're lucky. Two attacks, you're dead. I mean, you're already dead. The Orb Weavers, if you've got good armor, thankfully I have, and I'm probably now have to go and repair it. You can fend them off, get a good club weapon, stun them, and get the hits in. But it looks like they're going to be just a little bit more difficult to kill, and I think that's probably a good thing. Okay, so that covers all of the combat changes, the main ones. I'm only going over the main changes that I think are worth putting in here. There's a lot of cosmetic changes and bug updates. But the next thing I want to talk about is the changes in the world. I've already talked about that Clover Cave layout that changed, but there's something they've done I haven't yet discovered, and they apparently have put human footprints in the game, just in a few places, and I don't know where they are. But it's kind of cool because it will sort of makes you feel much more like this is another person's garden that you're wandering around getting killed in. I mean, killing things in, of course. But that's a pretty cool addition. They've reworked some of the map over the other side, so it's not massive, but I did notice the changes. This section, as I was wandering around, has been sort of just rejigged a bit, and the entrance to the cave is slightly different to where it was before. The Clover Cave that I mentioned earlier. It looks it's a different place, and you definitely notice how different it is when you get there. But other than that, they haven't really changed anything in terms of the biomes. They haven't added any new areas or anything like that yet. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Another update is that any items that have been left lying around, like, I left some spoiled meat on the ground, planks, weed stems, anything that you've dropped or left behind, after 2 in-game days, 48 to 72 hours in-game, it will eventually despawn. And I think that's a really good idea, because you can imagine as you play through this game for a long time, you're going to leave so many pieces of so many things littered across the map. That's only going to increase your load times in the game. It's going to basically fill up the memory requirements for the game itself. And I think it's really a good idea to just let it tidy up after itself after a couple of days. So you just be aware, as soon as you launch this new version of the game, if you've left anything out there that you want to go get it. The other thing, this is why I've put it here, and you just saw me walk past it, but the building things, and you just saw me walk past it, the water containers can now collect falling droplets, and it's working. It's working! I wasn't sure if it would work, so I left it overnight. You can put these water containers down here to stop them, because after a while, it sort of will roll down into this crack and just fall out of the world. So I think it's a great idea to have that. Right, the other thing I should mention is they've improved the performance. Now I know somebody mentioned in one of my latest videos that the screen tearing in my video was a bit annoying, and I noticed it a couple of times. I didn't think it was that bad, but if you've noticed it, of course, then it's annoying, and I apologize for that. But I do believe it's related to the performance of the game, as it's trying to buffer in to the recording software I'm using. So I think that's probably why the game doesn't do it when you're looking at it, that I can tell. Occasionally I've seen the screen sort of shifting in half, but they said they've improved overall performance, and there's quite a few areas that they've looked at that, and I feel it as well. Running around the world, it feels smoother at night as well. The graphics are rendering quicker. It just looks a lot better. Okay, Another thing, and I'll show you, probably cut into some footage while I'm discussing some of these things, but the hedge berries now float, so you can sort of coax them towards the edge of something and you can hack away at them. You still can't hack them if you're in the water, but you can hack them if you get into the edge. Another thing, ants will now find and store lost ice caps, and I think the ice caps are the names of the mint that you make the mint club from. Now, I went back to the ice cap box and I noticed one of the ice caps that I'd left in there, one of these mints I'd left in there, has gone. So I suspect our friends the ants have stolen the damn thing, and it's now back in the anthill. So it'd be interesting to go in there and find out whether they've stolen it and stored it. Talking about ants and that anthill, there is another change I think is pretty genius. It's good. I think it's correct to do. Ants will now not be happy if you steal their eggs. As you remember, we went in there, took a little while to get rid of the bugs around it, which they have also sorted out, by the way. They've sorted out the egg spawning bugs, or at least they've made a lot of changes that should solve that problem. Like, for example, ants won't spawn under the rocks and they won't fall through and they won't get stuck and you know, that kind of thing. But they will now not be happy if you steal their eggs. So I've got to go into the anthill probably in the next episode just to see if these ice caps are in there and just exactly how they react when I take the eggs, because you can imagine how many ants are in there surrounding those eggs. If they all attack you at once, you better be prepared for it. So that should be interesting. I will do that in the next one. So that is a recap of all of the updates that I think are worth mentioning. In the next video, I will be out there seeking out 5 stink bugs and the marker at Weed Killer Peak. But we will also, I think, take a look below the rake. There's something down there I know I need to go and find. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please take care. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you once again, and good night.